Hi, cadets. My name is Steve Scott. I'm one of 5 counselors here at Eisenhower, and I've been tasked to give you a little bit of advice. First thing I want to talk about is how to make sure that you stay on track and don't fall behind. The first bit of advice is get out of bed. All right, I know you guys have been sleeping in until noon or 1 or maybe not getting up at all. The best thing I can give you for advice going back to school is to build some structure in your life. So let's start off by getting out of bed. The second thing is attend your classes. Now you only have 3 plus advisory this first quarter, and so this is going to give you an opportunity to have perfect attendance. So get out of bed and attend your classes. The next thing I want you to do is to build in some extra time for doing your work. You can imagine that some of these classes are going to give you homework, and so when you look at your calendar, make sure that you block a little bit of extra time to do that. You're going to need to ask for help from not only your teachers and maybe your fellow students, but probably also from your parents and guardians. Because if you're watching brothers and sisters all day long, your schedule is going to get pretty full. So let them know you got some homework to do and just get that homework done. The other thing is don't get behind. I've been a counselor for about 20 years now, and I can't tell you how many seniors come to me and say, I had no idea that failing classes my freshman year was going to kick me in the end, but it will. As freshmen, if you guys can make sure that you pass all your classes and move all the way through, your senior year is going to be easy. If, for instance, you fail 1 or 2 classes, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, I have seniors that need to make up 15 classes in addition to the classes that they're taking. And this is really a stress you don't need. So this year, make sure that you stay on track with your classes and earn some credits. One of the other things I'm really concerned about is just your emotional, social, emotional health. This is kind of a tough time for a lot of families. I've been hearing stories of people that have lost loved ones, people that are feeling really isolated, maybe even depressed. People have lost their jobs, and this is just a tough time. And so I want to give you some advice on how to stay a little bit maybe resilient during this time that's really difficult. The one thing is to focus on things that you can control. All right, right now there's nothing that I can do to cure COVID. And really thinking about how I would like to start the school year, it doesn't really give me any strength either, because right now I can't control that as well. I'm going to focus on things that I can control. And what can you control? Well, you can control your schoolwork, making sure that you're attending your classes and earning your credits. Other things that you can control are the ways that you reach out to other people for help. You've all been given technology from the school district. Use that not only for your schoolwork, but also to stay connected with people. And those people may be different than usual. Normally you're used to seeing people in the hallways, but you might be able to reach out to a cousin or someone else through email that you weren't able to before. And you're going to have time to, and you're going to need to, in order to stay emotionally safe. The other thing that you may want to do is to think about building a support network. I call it my Team Me. On my Team Me is my wife and my kids. Sometimes my dog is on my team and other times maybe not. But also my mom, other people that are friends, and they check in on me. And they call and say, hey, how's it going? I know school's about ready to start. How are you doing? Build a team that will support you throughout this school year and make sure that you stay in touch with them. They can help you out. Some other things I want you to think about is that this is really temporary. I don't have an end date for this, but it's helpful for me to know that it's not always going to be like this. Most of you don't know that I was in the Navy for 7 years, and I would go off on deployments. My wife and kids would have to go. I would leave and go to Spain or Guam or someplace far away. And so 3 things helped me during those times. The first thing is my wife would write me letters. Back then we didn't have email, but that was really helpful. And she would also call me weekly, monthly, whenever we could afford it. But the other thing that really helped me was knowing that it was temporary. I could look on the calendar and say, in 6 months or 7 months, I'm going to be back home with my family again. Now, I don't know the end date of this whole COVID thing, but I can tell you that it is temporary. Keep that in mind, and that will definitely help you. Staying busy is one of the things that a lot of times we forget when we have a lot of free time. Not to mention that we get extra sleep and stay up late and get off schedule. I'd recommend that all of you get out physically outside and do something. I walk Franklin Park a lot just because it's pretty close to where I live. And I try to stay away from people when I do, but just getting outside really helps me, energizes me. My final advice for you is something that I've been threading through this entire part is get help. If you find yourself isolated, depressed, really hopeless about what's going on in your life, reach out to a teacher, to a counselor, to a friend, maybe a youth pastor. Get help so that you're not going to let this kick you, okay? We're going to kick this. And by the way, go Cadets.